don't have a desire to do it like that.
Right. Like, yeah, I mean, got in the business to not, I just want to go up and tell jokes. There's like, didn't expect to be like graphic designer, audio engineer, all this. You have to do all that now. Yeah.
Or you have to know somebody who can do it and do it for you for a good price.
Right. Exactly.
Because I'll make a video and I can't edit very well.
Yeah.
But I'll say to the sound, hey, bro, this is what I want. He'll be all right, bet. And he'll edit for me. He'll do it on his phone. I'm like, it's so easy for him.
Yeah.
I can't get it.
Yeah. No, not me. Like, I mean, I have trouble like if like Wi-Fi does something that it's not supposed to do. Like,
I'm done with the
just not technical anyway. Honestly, like when it comes to cars, like I'm not a car guy at all. Like I felt like such an idiot, like taking it into the shop and be like, yeah, I pushed the pedal on the right and it wouldn't go anymore. And that's normally the thing that makes it go. Can you make it go again? Like
you might need gas, sir. Oh, that's one of those things. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about that at all.
Yeah.
We all have our strong suits.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean I need blinker fluid?
That trend was hilarious. I'm like, oh yeah, they charged me $300 for air. But this is premium air. I'll never have to get no more. Like the women calling their dad and their husbands. I'm like, who made you pay $300 for air? Air is free.
Yeah.
That's a good bit. I love that. Those little pranks they be doing.
Yeah. Hey, thank you all for tuning in to the Destination podcast. You know me by now. I'm Destin. Across from me, though, the very, very funny Marc Fazon.
What's going on, everybody?
I'd say Marc Fazon, hilarious comic in the greater Columbus area. You can catch him all around. You can catch him here in Newark on June 23rd, but we'll talk more about that later. You can also catch him at Cafe Kerouac May 27th? 26th. Yep. Very funny show there. You said you have...
Ty Moore's hosting,
Okay.
Funny Man Brown, comedian Silas, and then I think they added Evan recently to the show. Added Evan. It's really, really good lineup.
Yeah, solid. Yeah. And then also... you're putting the tightening screws on your first special later this year too. Is that the heard through the grapevine?
I'm working on it. Like I said, I put my time in. I got a solid. So somebody told me an hour is 2 specials. He said just do a 30-minute, put it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it never dawned on me. I'm like, man, I don't have to put out an hour.
Mm-hmm.
People's attention span is shorter. They put out 30 minutes and just do what you got to do with it.
As somebody that just dropped an hour special, I wish I had done 2.5 hours.
Because that's more content, and then you can.
Yep. Yeah. And again, yes, attention spans are shorter. So that's why we're ending this episode of the podcast right now. Everyone, Marc Fazon's been great. You can catch him. I'm kidding. No, we do have to wrap it up in like 10 minutes, though, because again, algorithm and all that stuff. So yeah. Do a little shorts. No, I'm kidding.
He was so serious. He said algorithms and stuff.
Yeah, that's what my what I blame everything on now is like algorithms. Yeah, not that like people are just tired of hearing me do the same old stuff. It's like no, it's the algorithm, man. It's messing with me.
You use it for everything. Like hey, you with your girl, you came too soon. Hey, it was the algorithm. Blame it on it.
Yeah. You were short on your taxes. That's because the algorithm told me this is what I had to pay.
IRS, I can't help you.
Yeah, exactly.
The algorithm told me otherwise.
Yeah, get on your boy Zuckerberg for that.
He needs to be blamed for a lot of stuff, though.
Yes, he does. Yeah. Like especially for this only being shown to like 20 people on Facebook.
That drives me so crazy.
I know.
There's nothing you can do about it.
No,
you have to buy, and then even when you buy, there's no like that's. We're gonna get a tangent on that one right there because even if you buy, they say 300 people saw it. Who are these 300 people?
Right.
And why did none of them like it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like now, like I have like the professional mode on mine too, and like you can it'll show you like hundreds, thousands of people.
But it'll be people you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who's saying it's even people? It's probably AI people.
I honestly believe that's what it is.
I
honestly believe it is. I literally sometimes I write down the name and then I go back and look at them later. Like, man, this fool ain't posted in weeks, man. I can't prove it, but
there's a lot of people that's like they'll get the friend request from them, and there's like one mutual friend, and I'm like, oh, he's just stupid. He
just got anybody because I'm like, listen, if you're a hot girl from the ages of 21 to 30. and you only have 60 friends,
Right.
if you're running a coma, you're a bot. That's just there's no explanation other than that.
Yeah, pull up profile and just be like, oh, very first post is a link. Yeah, imagine that.
People who still get hacked though this day is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I don't be clicking nothing. Like one girl was sitting on, she's like, "Oh, what's your cash if I want to bust you?" I said, "Hey, double it, send it to somebody else. I'm good."
Right.
Don't do that. Or what I like to do sometimes is I have fun with them. Like if the people like get in your DMs and ask you weird stuff, reply and have fun.
Oh yeah.
I do that with telemarketers too. Like you call my phone and you catch me at a good moment. They like a lot of time, it's not cool, but English is their second language.
Yeah.
So they're not quick with it enough. So I be asking, I'm like, "Hey, no, what time you get off of work? You got a sexy voice." I'm trying to throw them off there because if they're reading a script and they're just going verbatim, I'm trying to throw them off their game to the point where they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hang up. I don't want to deal with this anymore."
Right.
Yeah, so that's my goal. If everybody just started doing that, we'd have fun.
Yeah. Although that's so fun to do because that's like telemarketers are the last of the holdouts of people you can prank call because prank calling is done now. We have caller ID. Like it's. You can't just call them up that you're like the dry cleaning place or whatever that you're like past due.
Like your cell phone will literally let you know who it is.
Yeah. Like call them up. It's like, all right, this is Jeff from Blockbuster. It's like, man, this wouldn't have even worked in 2005 when Blockbuster was still a thing.
That just made me think about the fact that family videos are still around.
How? So Newark had one up until COVID.
Okay.
And like even the first couple months into it held out quite a bit. And I am such an idiot because I had rented from the video game section, I had rented the first 3 Uncharted games. And I rented like 2 movies. It was like 2 MCU movies because like that was the summer I started actively watching all of them.
Right.
And I had returned them like a week before they announced they were shutting down. I'm like, if I just waited one more week, I would have had those for free.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd have went back like, "Hey man, I think I left
come in with like one of those like old people like grabby stick things.
I have
like
one of those
fish through the
Those things come in handy.
I think I have one like back there. Say for my soon to be roommates. But anyway, speaking of living with loved ones, though, you also recently married?
Yes, it's not recently, but it's been about 5 years now.
Yeah, 5 years. It's recent.
They still like to anybody who's been longer than 5 years. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're still newlywed." Like, for real?
It's like you still got that spark in your eye. It's definitely under 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll take it. Yes.
No. I'll say, and then 1 or 2 children. 2. Okay.
So I have a 19-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
No empty nester there.
No. I thought I was out the game. I was like, I'm off child support. I got money in my pocket. My wife was like, "Hey, I want a baby." I'm like, "What a sucker."
Yeah. I turn 30 next year, and I have so far not had any.
Hold off as long as you can.
Yeah. Oh, I am. Unfortunately, all these years, again, having a house and government job and all that stuff, people are like, "How are you still single?" I'm like, "Well, easy. I'm single by choice. The choice of every woman I've ever tried to text." But
so you actively made that choice, though, yeah.
But it's there. I always just like to act like, "Oh no, it's my choice." I don't need to know that it's them choosing to not message me back, but. No, I'm kidding. I got 6 girls to message me back pretty recently, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Life is going good.
Yeah. Well, to do the show that we're doing June 23rd. That's the one time I know like I can get a text back. It's like, "Are you available date on this date?" And they're like, "Yeah, for what?" And every time I'm an idiot and I'm just like, "I'm putting a show together." They're like, "Okay, cool." Next time I do that, I should hit them back with like, I don't know, Red Lobster movie. Unfriend.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right. I say I need to not focus on my career so much and focus more on Cheddar Bays.
I like that a lot. Cheddar Bays. That's a thing.
Actually, that was my breakfast today. There's a breakfast spot up north town. I think I mentioned Early Bird's breakfast on here before. If not, free sponsorship, whatever. Yeah, they have something called the Bay, and it's a waffle, but they put like the spices, and then they put cheddar cheese in the waffle in the iron.
They infuse it like that?
Yeah, they infuse it into the waffle, and then they cover it with eggs, bacon, sausage gravy, and then green onions on top. That
is one of the fattest things I've ever heard.
Oh, that's not even the fattest thing on their menu.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they have.
I can only imagine.
No, they have one. It's called it's a bacon spicy fried chicken waffle pile up.
They call it a pile up.
Yeah, they haven't found some shorter name for it. It's just on there as like bacon spicy fried chicken waffle pile up.
That is a heart attack.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It's also why I'm not going to live to see 40. But
I mean,
who wants to live to see 40? Anyway.
I mean, with the crime rate and global warming, who's really gonna live that long anyway?
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, heck, with this economy, I'm getting 2 70-year-old roommates. I mean, it's rough out here.
It really is.
So anyway, get some of the more basic stuff out of the way. So you have been doing stand-up for 8 years.
Correct.
So what made you want to do it?
Just been the class clown growing up, and just always loving. I'm a student of comedy. Like I watch, I don't want to say all specials, but like anytime a special comes out and it's somebody I think I can learn from and I can glean some insight from, I'm watching. Shameless plug. Shout out to Jason Banks. I'm watching his today.
That's my 6 p.m. plan tonight.
Yeah.
Watching.
Definitely excited about
Jason
that.
Banks, light skinned, available on YouTube as of 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today.
He better send me my check because this is definitely a plug. But like I said, I just watched Ali Sadiq's special. Amazing special. I said it's his special is the first special I've ever laughed and cried in the same episode. Like he got me, and he's a phenomenal storyteller. So I'm a huge fan of his. But yeah, I'm a student of it, so I've always loved it. So true story, I went to go see Tony Rock in person.
Yeah.
And Kenny Mock was.
I heard he slaps.
He is super funny.
Yeah.
Like he's funny, but a different type of funny than Chris.
Yeah,
it's definitely different. But yeah, Tony Rock was opening, and Kenny Mock was the host, or he was the opener, or whatever. And afterwards, I knew Kenny's brother, and I was like, "Yo, bro, man, I really want to do this." Kenny said, "Hey, this is where you go on this date." He said, "Go." I went my first time. I went for like a month straight, and I didn't tell any jokes. I just watched. And Hassan was the host back then. And then I think when I finally went up, Oliver Gray was the host. And I did my thing, had a 5-minute set. Wasn't bad, wasn't great, but it was cool for a first timer. And I uploaded to YouTube because I figured if I upload it and people see it, I can't go back after that point. So I kind of just forced my hand. Okay. I did that.
Great way of looking at it.
Yeah. And then my other thing was I said if I bomb, it wasn't the college kids in there. I'll never see them again anyway. So yeah. So I did that, and I never looked back. I've been going strong ever since.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My first time wasn't to an actual to go see a comedy show or anything like that. I just did an open mic, but I didn't know they had just strictly comedy open mics. I thought it was just any open mic. So it was just me and a bunch of people with acoustic guitars and like doing spoken word, and then there was just me going up there talking about the time I accidentally ate a weed brownie and ate too much McDonald's, which happens.
Truth happens. Those are the best mics. I said anytime I go to
I feel they were extra appreciative.
They're engaging. They give you get a real. I said I typically tell them, I said I go to poetry mic sometime, and if they know I'm in the building, they're like, hey, they'll kind of like, hey, you gonna do something? Like I got you. It's the most real and just the best feedback you'll ever get from an open mic. Yeah.
I mean, out here in Newark, when I first started like really heavily doing open mics back in 2018, 2019, it was like I was pretty much like the only comedy guy. But because of that, I added a nice little variety, and just people don't converse enough with like musicians or any other forms of art in the world of comedy, where we kind of keep to ourselves in that regard. Right. So it's very healthy to get out of that every now and then.
Yeah, I agree. I think right now, mics in Columbus, I think Sister Lou has one of the better mics because she does the workshop beforehand.
Right.
I'm like that's genius. I'm like, even if it's an off night, you don't have no people come in, just do the continued workshop where you can go up there, test the material, and get tagged from actual comics. Like, 'cause like that's the part of comedy that's kind of missing for me, I think. When I first started, like if I go to open mic and I see you up there and I know we have a relationship where I feel like I can give you some tags or some notes to your joke and you're not gonna be a dick about it. I'm like, hey bro, that's funny. Try adding this and this and this and this.
Right.
But a lot of, like I said, it's you got to pick and choose your spots though with that though.
Yeah. I've given some tags here and there. And yeah, I don't know how I do it, but I always am thinking in my head, like, hey, don't be like rude about it. Don't act like I'm doing it because I know better.
Yeah. I
would say, hey, from where I'm sitting, this could work. Give it a shot. If it doesn't work, obviously, then that's how I would handle it. Right. But obviously, you're not me. So, but
what I typically do is it's something I learned. It was you ask like, hey, listen, great set. Would you be open to some feedback? So I put it back on them. So like I said, so if they say, hey, no, I'm good. I don't need any feedback. Cool. Or if it's somebody like I said, I have a relationship and they know like they're expecting me to get tags. Like if I go to a show with certain people, they're looking. I need to be on my phone taking notes. Like, okay, that word you need to add this because that's what's expected of me.
Right.
So like I said, that's what I said. That's one of the things I love about the comedy game. Is like it really is a brotherhood in the sense of we riding for each other in a lot of ways. Like I was when that whole thing started happening where people would start walking on stage and hitting comics and stuff like that. I said, listen, I don't care if it's a comic I dislike. I don't think it's funny at all. I said, let somebody walk on stage. I said, it's gonna be a fight because we gonna jump you. Because I'm like, it needs to be that kind of love again.
Right. Yeah, I actually started, and it was right around that time too. I was actively a month before that. I started taking self-defense classes again. Oh. Now, way back in the day, when I was a kid, I had gotten a black belt in karate when I was 13.
How the heck you get a black belt at 13?
I started at 7. I started at 7.
Okay. Overachiever.
Yeah. So I was a band from a kid, and which is I was still bullied in school, but the thing is they just would only do it verbally because I think everyone knew like, hey, if I actually do put my hands on him, he's got me.
Yeah.
One time in 5th grade, someone made that mistake. And we had this giant playground, and that had this big, like multifaceted, like jungle gym with like slides and poles and stuff.
Right.
Just strippers in training. And so there was this kid, for the sake of anonymity, I'm going to make up some name. Let's go with, his name was Donald Trump. Okay. We'll just say his name was Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And Donald Trump was, talking smack. And that's too real of a name now that I'm using it in this context. Yeah. Rush Limbaugh, let's say. So Rush Limbaugh, he's like, talking smack one day, and he got like a group together, and they're like pushing and shoving me.
Okay.
And that draws a crowd, obviously, because that's how it goes.
Right.
Yeah, we act like we're more evolved than monkeys, but not by much.
No.
It's still some zoo stuff, but he pushes me like really hard. Does like the tabletop thing, like someone got like behind me and like, I fell over them and he pushed. And then as soon as I'm getting back up, I'm like, at this point, I'm finally now actively like trying to push him away. Mm-hmm. But this kid, he jumps up on top of like this like bridge area with like a pole. And again, this was 2004 or 5, so like prime WWE.
Listen, you was definitely.
Oh yeah, he was going up to the top rope. It's essentially what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he gets up there, and he couldn't have telegraphed it more. Which, like, when you learn to fight from TV, rule number 1: don't telegraph what you're doing.
It was like I said, he was moving in regular speed, but you were sitting in slow motion. He was like, this guy's going to get it.
Oh yeah. So he does this primal like war cry scream, jumps off of like this little bridge thing, and he's like coming at me like trying to do like a flying clothesline. And I mean, just in a split second, I was in slow motion at this point. I was in real time. And just in a split second, when things went back to normal, I just jumped up and I did a jump front kick. I hit him smack in the nose.
Oh, that's my guy.
And I mean, he just crumpled. Oh. He almost did like a full-blown worm because like he just was, a ragdoll when he hit the floor. Uh-huh. And he got up and there was like a whole bunch of blood on the mulch. Like I busted this kid's nose.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts screaming bloody murder. Everyone else has that like oh crap moment, you know. And yeah, that's the last fight. That's the first and last fight I've been in outside of an actual karate room. So I am 1 for 1. I'm batting 1,000.
No.
Untouchable.
As a matter of fact,
Floyd Mayweather, get at me.
You need to add it to your comedy resume that you are undefeated in fights.
Yes.
I definitely would do that.
And roast battles, which you can catch me at June 2nd at the Attic Comedy Club. Shameless plug.
Yeah. The roast battles, like I said, I do love those. Like I said, they were really good. Mm-hmm. Have you been to the heckler mic?
Yes, I've done it twice. Okay. This was back when I was at juniors. I don't think it's there anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think they've kept the mic. They just moved the venue now, I think. Okay. But I did it back when I was like in the basement of juniors. And I remember the first one I went to was just really disappointing because like nobody was funny. Like none of the heckles were like any kind of clever. Okay. And I'm like, come on, you're comics. I expect better for this. Okay. The second one was pretty fun, though. We actually got a nice little, riff, like a nice back and forth with it. So that was fun. But.
I see, and I keep saying, like, I said, man, I'm going to go. But like I said, it's like at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night or something like that. I'm like, bro, I got to go to work in the morning. Yeah, I can't.
It has to be one of those when I do have the day off because, like, my work schedule, like I always have Sundays off, but then my other day it floats throughout the week. So like I can attend that like once every like 6 weeks.
Right. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. If I want to.
I definitely want to go, but I've heard comics like Dick Dickerson was telling me. He said he went and then nobody heckled him. I was like, what? Yeah. He's not a guy that you want to heckle anyway. He's not, but also he almost makes it easy on you because he wants you to do it. He wants you to fall for the trap. Yeah, because he's quick with it.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, every now and then, like if I purposely wear something that's slightly ridiculous, it's because I want someone to take a bait. when I want to like work on my crowd work and or heckle skills. Right. That's when you'll see me wearing something a little obnoxious or a little, because like I want them to take the bait. One of the last times I was at the Attic, it was a little too chilly to be wearing a tank top, but I wore a tank top because of that. And Yale Reams pointed it out at the beginning of his set, and the crowd turned on him so immediately. So it backfired on me because I was like, I expect Yale. Like, trust me, I've worked with him.
He's funny. He's a really funny guy.
Yeah, I knew he would, and I know he does it well. He was the one roast battle I did at Red Rock. Like he was probably one of my bigger. Him and Mo Hill were like the two that I was like the most worried about. Yeah, as far as
Mo's really quick too with the top of his head.
Him and I. There was one round. It was pretty much just him and I because we were like just so in the zone. Like it was like Dragon Ball Z style like intensity. Right. But the whole crowd turned on him. They're like, "Why are you being mean to this guy?" Because they didn't know I was a comic. And I was planning the whole rebuttal the moment he called me out. And when I saw it, like his whole set just went bad because no one was on his side. I'm like, well, there goes my plan.
You can't do nothing at that point.
But now I'm even kicking him while he's down. Yeah. And
the only thing you could have did was went on stage and cried a little bit, like, "Oh my God, yeah, I don't know why would you be so mean to me?" Like you had to play the victim.
And I don't get it either because like by now people know that Yale has that ability. Like he's really good at kind of being an antagonist every now and then. Yeah, like it's his style, and I mean he's no stranger to the place. So like it was baffling to me to watch it happen. Mm-hmm. But
now, do you write for roast and everything, or do you just go off the top?
I do write a lot. Mm-hmm. That battle, once it got to me and Mo, I went off of script at some point because I ran out. Right. So then it was just kind of like, oh, well, you're blah 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 blah. But I do actively, and I love the science of writing the like roast jokes too, because again, it's so easy to just. The difference between like bullying and roasting is just making sure that the punchline's good. Right. So like it's always interesting to like see exactly how you can make something that's not funny. Right. And like I love the science of it as a writer. Right. And I'm not good. Once I have to go off script, I will admit that's where I start freaking out a little bit. I love being prepared. Right. In that. Now, as far as actual stand-up goes, I don't mind going off script. I don't mind it as much there. But once we're in like a roast, if I have to go off script, that I'm ad-libbing, then there's a higher risk of me actually like hurting somebody, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
So
because it's never a malicious intent. Okay, I see
Right.
what you're saying. Because like, so when you do stand up, like I said, do you leave room like for you to do freestyle or crowd work?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
The beginnings of my, I have one really quick thing that's just good to get attention, and then once I have it, I get it out of the way early. I save like the last, I don't know, half, sometimes like 2/5 for real material. But like I love having the middle just kind of be free form, you know, loose goosey.
So my thought process is I do my freestyle at the beginning of my set because even if the freestyle's not funny, I know my set is good enough that I can rely on that. So like I said, if I go up there and I do some freestyle and I'm riffing, it's not hitting. I know I can rely on. I got the big joker with my jokes that they gonna get some laughs. So that's my thought process. But I need to kind of push myself. Like I said, so that's what I was just talking to somebody about doing some shows in Cleveland, about doing some crowd work shows. Like I said, it's a skill set that you got to have. You need to work on it, and it's a muscle. You got to work. You got to exercise it. So. Yeah, that's a big one for me. So I need to work on that more though. But I definitely, like I said, I do mine at the beginning just so get it out the way.
Right. I found out, especially after listening to my special, that like my stutter that I used to have as a child is really starting to come back again. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, by doing so much, like letting myself have so much free reign in the middle, that like I even when I write a joke, every now and then I'll even write a joke that way where like I know where I want to start it, I know where I want to end it, and in the middle, let's see what happens. And that's always the moment because then my mind is racing faster than my mouth is.
Same thing. So, I struggle with, like, I went to speech and betterment class. I did all that.
Yep.
Stutter's gone for the most part. However, if I'm up there ripping, my mind say, okay, say this, and then when I say it, it's like it's all over the place. I'm like,
right.
I knew I had it. Like, there's certain words that I say in my head, they sound immaculate. Right. I go to say the words, like, is that how that word is said? That can't be right. I'm overthinking it, so that's crazy. I'm glad to know it's not just me.
Yeah. And like, there's a couple that like haunt me every time I hear it. Especially if it's in any material that I have recorded. Right. Like if I hear like one random word that once again it was just my mind just was faster than my mouth, and like I'm like, oh, you idiot, you know, like why are you in a profession where you open your mouth for people? But no, when I was a kid though, my issue wasn't so much the mind racing thing. I just had an abnormally large tongue, ladies. But unfortunately, I grew around my tongue, but. Yeah, apparently I was extra mushy mouthed as a kid too.
I hear that, lady? Extra mushy.
Oh yeah, mushy and the gushy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, grew into that. Also, just had a big head. Metaphor or literally, not metaphorically. I see you comment section. I know. No, I had a giant head, and I think I mentioned this on the podcast before. I was born 11 pounds 14 ounces.
That dog.
Yeah, big baby.
Yeah.
Big baby.
I bet your mom was little though.
Yes. Oh, she was very.
That
little.
Makes no sense how they do that.
Yep. Dad was very big though.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, it was kind of like when you like start crossbreeding dogs and you see like one of my friends, he had a Beagle Mastiff, and like for that to have worked, that just had to be the world's bravest beagle to jump up on a Mastiff, like a little like Kevin Hart, like jumping up on like Lizzo.
Right. like who who planned that? Like that had to have been like an arranged marriage or something like that. Like,
right. Because there's no way that's like the Mastiff, the father was the Mastiff and the Beagle was the mother, because that Beagle would have been dead.
Yeah.
Like, would not have survived.
Nah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome though. Okay.
But yeah, I mean that was a hilarious dog because like I used to deliver mail to the guy's house many years ago.
Right.
And I remember one of the first times I heard the dog bark. Like it had the Mastiff bark, so this deep booming, like from the depths of Hades, kind of bark. And then I remember the first time he opened up the door like to hang out, and I looked down. I'm looking for the dog. I'm like, you better have that dog on a leash. I look down, and there's just this really buff looking beagle, like with big old shoulders too.
The thing is, he don't do leg days, huh?
Yeah, only leg days. Yeah,
that's crazy. When you write for for roast? Like how did you learn to write for roast?
So
I'm like I said, I've never like I said if I'm roasting somebody, I'm just going off the top. So I've never even thought about writing. Yeah.
So with this, you kind of go with the subversion of expectation aspect of it is a good way to go. Like there's something that you want to compare to, and then it's like, all right, then just take it in a really dark downshift kind of deal. Like, are you familiar with like Anthony Jeselnik?
That name sounds really familiar.
He's there for a while. He had like spiky hair, tall, lanky, very like slim face. He's a very dark comic.
Okay.
And like his thing is like, he'll take you on a nice long like walk through his jokes, like in the setup and his vocal delivery too. Like he's got this deep kind of like creepy voice almost. He's in no hurry to get to the punchline, but then when he does, it's just so drastically different from what you were expecting. So it works great.
A great misdirect will get me every time.
Yes.
I enjoy a misdirect.
So that's one way I think about it is like, all right, look, take something about like their appearance, do a subversion, or just sometimes just, I don't know, just know in your gut that you're going to go for the jugular and it's going to be good. Sometimes,
because that's a big part of it. Like I said, like I tell people all the time, I said a lot of time, a joke is funny, but you when your delivery is you're delivering it as if you're not confident in the joke,
right?
And it translates. I was like, if you don't believe in that funny, why the heck would I believe in it?
Right.
So you have to believe it. So that goes a long way.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just basically I would say the trick of good roasting is just make sure that you have this awesome comparison and just nail down exactly what makes it true.
Okay.
To whatever it is. And I don't typically roast normal people. I do like character roast. So that way it's like we're not roasting like a comic. We're roasting like, Batman, or we're roasting like Freddy Krueger or someone like that.
Because I said that's a big part of it right there. Like, cause like a lot of times as a comic, I have a mic, I have a stage. I'm naturally gifted at this. If I go against an audience member, that can go against me. They could turn against me real quickly. And I'm like, listen, I think Marc Berger told me. He said, listen. He said, if you're gonna do it, he said either annihilate them or ignore them. He said, because now that's only if somebody's heckling you though.
Right. And a lot of times I will, I'll always choose the ignore path first. I'm not on a war path. I'm on an ignore path.
Okay.
But if it comes to the point where I can tell that it's distracting other people, then sometimes you do just have to acknowledge
You have to address it. Yeah.
I remember it was the first time I did the Liberty Funny Bone open mic.
Yeah.
And I was doing this bit, and I talked about like this. It was a fight between two women, and one of them grabbed her weave and threw it up in a tree. And
that's already a hilarious premise.
Oh yeah. And for a whole year after that, everyone, like, every time she'd like walk by, everyone would be like, "Get your weave out the tree," And at one point, so I as soon as I said that, I had to like I put the bit on pause, and I was like, all right, now for the few white people in the crowd, you may not know this, never ever 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 touch a black girl's weave, because that shit is at least $60-$80 if it's good. And there was this very very large woman in the front row, and she said, and I quote, "Shit, white boy, my wave cost $100." And again, crowd was on her at that point. I did not have the attention, so I had to acknowledge. And I was like, "Oh shit, I thought that was a buy one get one at Dollar General."
Nice.
Yeah. Fortunately, they laughed. Minus one person didn't laugh. Can you guess who? So
yeah. I said, so when I do something like that, like I'll do something like playful, like, "Oh, I see y'all out here looking like so and so and so and so." I reference a character, nothing of malicious. The only time, like I said, I think I've ever had to really get somebody, I was at a Funny Bone show and I was opening for Carlos Miller, and there was a guy at the top row. He was just talking. I was like, ooh. And this is when I learned something new so I was like, I couldn't see who was making fun of who was talking, so I couldn't really roast him.
Yeah.
And then my guy at the show was like, bro, he said, if you couldn't see him, neither could nobody else. You could have called him fat, skinny, ugly, whatever. Who's going to argue with that?
Right.
I was like, I never even thought about that. Like, yeah. So ever since then, I'm like, whatever I got to do, I got whatever I got to say to get you up off of me. I'm gonna say it.
And I really kind of I hate it. The last couple times I've done it, my hearing is really starting to go on me. Like my right ear specifically, is not what it used to be. So like I hate that there's probably many opportunities I'm missing to go after somebody just because I literally cannot hear them. Plus, when you're up there with the lights, you can't see people. You can see like the first 2 rows.
I'd be telling people like when people who come to shows, they're like, "Can you see me in the back?" Like, no, I cannot. No. Literally, that first 2 rows, that's it.
Yeah, if you are front and center, that's
and then making eye contact with somebody in the first row, it can be either awkward or be really good. It's very hit or miss.
Right. But anyway, so I actually want to ask you, as one of the few I know, can you please tell people the importance of why it's important to write clean material?
I stress this so much.
Get on the soapbox.
Let's get on the soapbox.
The floor is yours.
The reason why it's important to have clean is because private gigs, TV, there's just so many avenues. You ain't even got to have a 30-minute clean. If you got 10 to 15 of clean, you can do. Like I said, I eat off of private gigs alone. Like literally, I do maybe 4 or 5 shows that are private a month. I tell them, hey, this is what I want to get paid. They pay me that. I show up, I'm funny, I leave, and I don't have to do any social media. They feed me. I'm usually in and out within an hour sometimes. It's the best thing you can have. Like I said, so I'm not telling everybody to be a clean comic. No, because no, I enjoy comedy just in general. But it's important to have at least 10 to 15 minutes of clean. Just something that you can say. I'm like, you may not want to take it to a church, but like I said, somebody asked you to do like a birthday party. Somebody asked me to do. I got a request to do a show at an Amish church, and I was like, I didn't know what I could. I said, I'm gonna have to turn this gig down. I'm like, have you guys seen me before? Like, I don't know if I'm the best fit for that. I said, if I was gonna do a show about Amish, I was gonna have to talk about the Amish. And I was like, there was no way I was gonna win that battle.
Right. Yeah. I will tell everyone that you need to be a clean comic. Wash your face, wash your hands, apply lotion to parts of your body besides you know what. No, but I still do that. I'm just no. I have respect for anyone that can resist the urge to give in to the devil like I do every time I write jokes.
But see, and then a lot of people be like, "Oh, Mark, you like, does it bother you?" I'm like, "Heck no!" I said, "I love comedy. I don't care about that.
Yeah,
comedy is comedy. If it's funny, roll with it.
Yeah,
as long as you not like is there anything that you think is off limits that you don't make jokes about?
Yes. Straight white men, because we've had it way too rough lately. Yeah,
easily.
I don't want to punch down. So other than that, no, I'm kidding. No, there's nothing I won't want to talk about. I have a very wonderful concept of reading the room.
That's a big one right there. Yeah, reading the room is a lot of people don't do.
I have a few jokes that, like, again, I know certain rooms I could never do. And vice versa. Like, my stuff out in Newark, sometimes it works in Columbus. Sometimes my Columbus stuff works in Newark. But like, I know which ones I can do where.
That's very true. So for me, I typically stay away from stuff that I can't personally connect myself to. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm not going to talk about children being shot at school and stuff like that. Like when people make jokes about that, I don't knock it. I just know it ain't for me. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about, like I said, like I've heard of comics make jokes like rape jokes, and I was like, yeah, like it's
that one's extra dicey.
It's super dicey.
Yeah,
I heard a woman comic do it one time. She has the joke is, she calls it a rape joke, but it's not really a rape joke. But she does it masterfully. Like she talks about the joke. Her name's just Niche. She's out of Chicago, and she says how she got like I said, what if a girl got raped, and when she got raped, she had the best orgasm she ever had in her life. I was like, yo, that is genius. Yeah. But only a female could have made that joke. There was no way that I could have came up with that premise.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely
but the way she did it was perfect. And then she said, she ended the joke like, she's like, man, I be in alleys just walking around with loose fitting clothes and everything. Like, hey, where you at? I was like, this is genius. But I'm like, yeah, only a woman could have made that joke. I said, there's no way. So that's how I look at it. Like, there's certain stuff I can't touch.
Right. Yeah. There's again, with reading a room, there's also something that goes even deeper beyond that, which is also sometimes just self-awareness in general. Like there's, and I did a joke pretty recently about how I'm aware that sometimes the way I look means that you're going to hear me do what I think is a joke, and you're all just going to think, oh no, he did that. It was a bit about I hooked up with this girl. We got a hotel room, and then after the fact, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get us some dinner. I got us sheets because classy, and after that, I was like, I need gas station food. That's what I need. And she's like, I'm gonna get a bath. So she, she was drawing her bath right before I left. I saw her, she was getting in the tub. So I come back. Now the thing is, I was gone for entirely too long. I didn't know it was like prom weekend.
Oh yeah.
So and Sheets is crawling with people in prom dresses.
Right.
And so it was like this nice half-hour wait. Plus, like I still had to get gas. I had a tire leak at the time, so I was having to fill that.
Oh man.
So the thing is, I come back like 45 minutes later, and I go into the hotel room, and I don't see her like on the bed like sleeping, and I don't hear anything, and I was like, oh, I was like, did she ghost me? Did she like bounce? I was like, because win-win. No, I'm kidding. No, I go into the bathroom and she is there asleep in the tub. Now, fortunately, her head was not like under the water.
Okay.
Like you could tell she was still like, she had her nose above the water. So like she could still breathe. It was like up to there, but still it was just a bad look because there she is. And I should mention, she's like skin and bones. Like she looked like that. And I looked like me. I was like, if a housekeeper like opened up the door and saw this, there's no way she's not going to think I just drowned a hooker in it.
No. You're definitely a serial killer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I was like, I have serial killer face. I get it. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I ever get a Netflix special, they're going to see my face on it, and they're not going to see stand-up comedy. They're going to see murder documentary.
Right. If someone was to say that, like just put your face on there, coming in May.
Right.
Like, oh, it's a new crime documentary. You got to check it out.
Right.
No, sir, that's my
special.
Like,
I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a killer, but not in that regard.
Not kind of
yeah.
That's crazy. That's good though.
I should put that as next time a booker asks me for like a bio, I'm gonna just straight up lie about having a Netflix credit, and then like when they see and I'm gonna take the making a murderer guy, I'm gonna use his face.
Yeah.
And I just want to see if they catch it. And especially if they put it out there, like, yeah, come catch this killer at so and so.
Hilarious. That making a murderer, man. That had me hooked. I ain't even gonna lie. I was hooked. I was convinced I knew who the killer was. Yeah.
I've seen some good ones. Because I date emotionally unstable women, so like I've seen a lot of the documentaries.
Oh, women are the weird.
There's one.
I don't know why they love those crime documentaries so much and then be scared every night.
Right. So there was one, and this one wasn't actually a documentary. This one was meant to be a comedy, but it's on Amazon Prime. It's called Why Women Kill.
I think there's a couple of podcasts like that too.
Yeah, because who's in the cast? I mean, they got some like big name actresses. I think they got Lucy Liu in it, and then there's like one more like big name, but girl, I was like, we were like looking for something to watch, and she recommended that. I saw it, and I was like, it says it's a season long, 10 episodes. I was like, I can save you 10 hours. Do you know why women kill? Men. That's it. I just saved you 10 hours of your life.
That's the whole show. Snap is typically about that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's because I used to watch that show. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I was always scared of women after that. I was like, man. Like, I know my limits. Like, I'm not going to vacuum this week, but I'm at least put my clothes in a hamper. I mean, little stuff.
Right. I was only scared of women because I saw Norbit as a young kid.
That definitely would do it for you too. That definitely.
I was like, if they act anything like Respucia, I'm going. Like,
the fact that was. Oh man, Eddie, his character work is phenomenal.
It is. Although that was right around the time where it was like there was kind of like a beginning of an end on him though, because like it was by that point we had gotten used to like, okay, he's gonna play all the characters. It's gonna be it was starting to get old a little bit. And Mike Myers, same thing.
Yeah.
We expected that. Yeah. But like, I mean, Eddie's why I do stand up. Like Eddie Murphy's Raw is what made me want to do it. So like, I always like, don't get me wrong, Eddie's always still going to be in my Mount Rushmore of comics forever. Even if not everything he did, Adventures of Pluto Nash, was good.
Mm-hmm. I want him to do stand up just one more time.
Oh my God, same.
Those tickets would be astronomical.
And he talked about it on Comedians of Cards Getting Coffee. He talked about wanting to do it.
He was supposed to. I don't think he can do it though. I think Netflix offered him 60-70 million just for 1 hour.
Yeah,
and he won't. I don't think he can do it because like the jokes he did in Raw and Delirious.
Oh, yeah,
can't do none of that. None of that. All that's off limits.
Yeah, the first sentence of Raw is taboo.
Yeah, but he's still funny. He's still clever. He's still quick with it.
Yeah,
I know him and his brother Charlie they were talking about doing it. He was like, "Oh yeah, bro, you gotta do it one more time." And he said, "Oh, when I get in my 50s, I'll maybe do it one more time." Eddie, bro, you're getting close to 60 at this point,
right?
Man. Just do it. Like I said, there's a couple of tours that I'm like, man, I would give up my left nut for.
Right.
If I can get all the Wayans on one show, because I want to see Damon Sr.
Yeah.
I want to see Sean just because I don't expect much from him. And I want to see Keenan, and I've seen Marlon live a few times, but I said Damon is the one I want to see because I think arguably he's the funniest of all of them.
And who's the she's like cousins of the Wayans?
She's the niece, Shantae Wayans.
Shantae, yeah, there we go.
She's super funny.
Yeah, I saw her on Netflix. She's good.
She's really good.
Yeah, I'll say if Eddie came out of retirement, I would sell my left kidney on the black market for that.
Like I said, those tickets would be everything.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could kick myself for not seeing Mulaney, and then he just brought out Chappelle as a guest. Like, had I known the and I worked with a guy at the time, and he sent me the video. Of like the roarous applause sounded like Beatles at Shea Stadium when Chappelle came out.
Like I said, anytime there's a show that's in Ohio, depending on who it is,
right?
They could just because
Kevin Hart just walk on.
Kevin Hart just did a show here in Dayton.
Yeah,
Dave just came out.
Yep.
You never know, and like I said, that's what makes Chappelle's thing he does, where he'll do his little rooms, whatever. You don't know who's on the show,
right?
You have no clue. You pay $300 for a ticket, just know it's gonna be a good time. Like those summertime shows he was doing during COVID. I said the tickets would go on sale at 10 o'clock. It was 10:01. I'm pushing them up, refresh.
Yeah,
didn't get one. I'm like, bro, how do you get a ticket? But then it would be stuff like Dave Letterman would do stand up. Jim Carrey did an hour via FaceTime. I'm like, this stuff is just unheard of. Like I would like I said, Jim Carrey's another one I would love to see. Just.
Yeah, I speaking of Jim Carrey doing stand up, I recently watched the Comedy Store's tribute to Bob Saget, and there was like a core panel basically, and on it was Chris Rock, Jim Carrey, Jeff Ross, and there was one more that's escaping me, but at one point. Chris Rock even just said, I just can't believe that it took Bob Saget's passing to get Jim Carrey to do stand-up again. It's like, if this is what it takes, I will kill Eddie Murphy next week.
It's a good bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some people, like I said, like I want to see live. Like I said, I haven't seen him forever. Like I just want to see one more time. Like Bob Saget, like when you think about his stand-up and his TV image,
right?
Completely different. Like the first time I saw him do stand up, I was like, "Is that the dad from Full House? Like, does he cuss like that?" I'm like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Yeah. See, I'm glad that you have that approach to it. I know I've said before that like I had that with Eddie Murphy because just given my age, I saw Shrek before I saw Raw.
Oh, yeah.
So I knew him as Donkey and I knew him as Dr. Doolittle. Those were the two things I knew Eddie Murphy as.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw Raw when I was 13. Now, typically, most people would be shocked and appalled. I loved it. With Bob Saget, on the other hand, I actually never watched Full House growing up. And I mean, sure, I knew him a little bit from America's Funniest Home Videos, but that barely counts. So I knew him as a stand-up comic first. I knew him as the dirty pervert that he was.
Oh, he definitely was. Like, he was very, he was like that borderline of creepiness. And
that's the thing. And comic Bob Saget, that was very much the real Bob Saget.
I honestly agree.
But it was. And then I went back on Nick at Night and watched Full House, and I'm like, this sellout. Like, how dare he?
So you probably were shocked and appalled when you saw Ice Cube.
Oh yes.
Like,
oh yes.
When people like if you grew up early enough to remember Ice Cube as a rapper, and then you see his transition, you're like, oh, that can't be same. But if you saw him as an actor first, and then you saw NWA or No Vaseline, oh.
So I knew Ice Cube as a rapper, and then I saw Are We There Yet? And I'm like,
it's really hard to watch that.
It's
so hard to watch. And it's a great movie. Like my son used to love that movie.
I will say I loved the casting of Ice Cube as the police chief in 21 Jump Street.
It was phenomenal.
Same with with Ice-T being a homicide detective now, when he had a song called Cop Killers. Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I love the irony of it. And
that he's still in that show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even they're like season 20. I don't even know. They're in the 20s. Man. I'm dating myself now, like, because like I said, I remember Ice-T as a rapper, man, doing rock and roll and everything. He was something else.
Yeah.
Who is on your Mount Rushmore?
Of comics. Yeah. So there's Eddie Murphy. Next would be Doug Stanhope. And then from there, probably Patton Oswalt.
That's good.
Yeah, and then the fourth one, that one's going to be tough for me. As far as fourth, probably.
It's always get tough when you get to that last one.
The fourth one, yeah. I don't know exactly who to give the flowers to, because I just know so many good ones. Also, nostalgia. I really loved. I loved Martin Lawrence. I loved D.L. Hughley, who honestly, he's probably my favorite of the Kings. I know it's almost sacrilege to not say Bernie.
Yeah,
Bernie's a close second. I don't know, I liked D.L. a little more, but
that's what I said. Comedy is so subjective.
Yeah,
I can put 10 people in a room and watch the same special, and everybody like, oh yeah, that was my favorite. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah.
I get compared to DL a lot. And I'm like, I don't see it, but in their mind, they see it. I get Tommy Davis.
If anything, I think you sound a little bit like DL.
That might be what it is. I think that might be what
it is. Your vocal quality just sounds like it.
That might be what it
is. I'll say that. My number 4, actually, I'm gonna say Kyle Kinane.
Ooh.
If you're familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my 4.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I mean, Eddie's just for nostalgia always going to be my number 1.
Because without Eddie, there's no Martin, there's no Kevin Hart. I mean, literally 90% of black comedians are lineage of Eddie, and that's
none of the Rocks.
None of them at all.
Yep.
I think the Wayans. There's no Wayans because I said they wrote for Eddie on Delirious or Raw. They wrote for him and everything. So I'm like, there's that catapulted so many careers. For me,
I was just about that.
And then I got you. For me, it's always tough. George Carlin. I love George. He was on Chappelle, Eddie, and Sinbad.
Okay.
Sinbad. I pray he can do stand up one more time because he had a stroke.
Years
back.
Yeah.
I saw him right before he had a stroke. I was like, man. I was late to a show one time because I was watching Sinbad. Like, I was hosting the show. The show started late. And they were like, Mark, what's going on? I said, yeah, I'm on my way. I'm literally at the Funny Bone still like,
right.
Amazing. I was, like I said, I like the crowd was all around him. He was taking pictures. I was like, and my lady was like, you got to go. I'm like, I was so mad to do that show that day. But I'm like, man, it was Sinbad. I'm like, I want to see him live because his crowd work is it's unparalleled to anybody else. Like he'll ask you what you do for a living and then do 10 minutes on being a nurse. I'm like, bro, where do you have these jokes at? So he's one of mine for sure. And then honorable mention is Chris Rock.
Yeah, I almost want to take Canadian off and put Chappelle, because also Chappelle's show was also so influential in not just in my world of comedy, but just the world of comedy.
Oh, it changed. Like I said, there's no Key and Peele without that.
I mean, and to this day, I mean, I have entire friendships that respond around mostly Chappelle show quotes.
I don't want to talk to you if I quote Chappelle lines to you and you don't get it. I'm like, ugh.
Right.
Like it's a lot of stuff like you know, you could be dirty, you could be out here killing folks, but if you don't know Chappelle jokes, I'm like,
yeah,
that's where I draw the line at.
Right. Also, Chappelle show was very influential in my music taste, because I mean, people forget that Chappelle along with Jay-Z, it was Chappelle and Jay-Z that gave the world Kanye.
Yeah.
Because that first
season, he was just having guests
with the 2 words,
mm-hmm.
and then Most Def, creatively R.I.P. I know he's Yasin Bey now, but still, that Closer Edge freestyle was like one of my favorites for a long time. Just in the passenger seat of his car going through traffic. Yeah,
that was amazing. I said that show. Like I said, it gave us so much. It gave us Charlie Murphy was doing shows, but he was like, because he wasn't using Eddie's name,
right?
So it was like, say, but him doing those stories,
yeah.
And Chappelle show catapulted his career.
I mean, the fact that Prince actually like reached out to Chappelle and been like, "Hey, I'm trying to do a Prince voice, like, hey, I'm real deep, like, yeah." Where he's like, "Hey, I'm putting out a special. May I use you dressing up as me as the cover?" Like, that's crazy when the art imitates life and life imitates the art.
But what's really crazy is Prince really could hoop.
Yes,
there's footage of him like on basketball team, permed out and everything.
And one of my favorite things do you ever watch the Hot One show on YouTube? The celebrities eating like the wings.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite moments on that whole show was the Zoe Kravitz episode, where she confirmed, because obviously Lenny and Prince would hang out,
right.
And she mentioned how when they would hang out, Prince would make pancakes. So Chappelle. So once again, it's a true story that Prince balled and he loved to make pancakes.
Because I said, like the Rick James story.
Yeah,
there was no part of that story that I didn't believe was true.
Absolutely,
every single word. I was like, nope. I can
all the way down to the internal bleeding in his chest.
I can see all of it.
Yeah,
all of it. Now I gotta go watch that Hot One with Zoe Kravitz, because she easy on the eyes first and foremost.
Yes. Yeah, I want to say it's like right around like wing 7 or 8 or whatever. It's in the back half, but yeah, she just casually drops the story confirming that Prince loved making pancakes for his guest.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, one thing kind of goes overlooked. We got Bill Burr because of Chappelle show too.
That's Bill time
monster.
He is on that stage.
Yeah,
it ain't a lot of people messing with him. Like he gets it. Like I said, he
fought the whole city of Philadelphia and won.
He's one of those guys where, like I said, him, Chappelle, those are the 2 people you can't cancel.
No,
because they're gonna say whatever they want to say. Bill doesn't want to be on TV anymore.
No,
he want to do stand up. You want to hire him for some stuff, cool.
Right.
But you got to have that level of like when I see comics who just say anything, I'm like, ugh. I commend you, but it don't end well. I said cancel culture is real. So, but Bill, I said Bill fought it. Like when he talked about white women and
the WNBA.
Oh
my God, yeah,
genius. Bill, I said Bill's one of my somebody that's slept on that I love. Jim Gaffigan.
Yes,
that inner monologue thing is genius.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's. Not even on my stand-up. I do that in my day-to-day life.
I've done it too. That's what makes me love. I'm like, okay, you got one here. Like,
yeah.
Who was a comic that people would be surprised that you watch or you listen to? Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Well, no, people are not surprised that I listen to Jim Gaffigan. Like they just think I'm like a brunette evil twin of him. That I listen to. I don't know, honestly. I mean, most people would be just surprised to hear me listen to anyone that doesn't look like me. I love. I'll say one that actually had a nice long discussion about was Catherine Ryan. She was born in Canada, lives in England, and then now mostly works in America, despite having no accent of either. So she has an American accent, but she was born in Canada, lives in England. But she does like a lot of BBC stuff. But she's like one of my favorite female comics. Also Michelle Wolf as well.
Oh my god,
she is a savage. I think her joke show special where she opened up a bit about like otters raping baby seals. I'm like, that is the most intense way to open a show ever.
But anybody that can do political satire the way she does it,
yes,
is, oh my god, because like it's so cerebral. You have to know what you're talking about, because you can't just get up there and say, this is no. Her pin game is nice.
Yes.
I would say for me, Flame Monroe.
Okay,
Flame is really funny.
Yeah.
Flame has a joke like somebody was asking her about cis women and everything, and they was talking about about having private parts and everything. She said, "Shoot, I like to get my dick sucked," and my mouth dropped, and I was like, "That's genius." I was like, I said I didn't, because I said I personally I said I don't care what nobody what you got going on in your body part, that's your business.
Right. Funny
is funny. When I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, she's funny. I would love to see her live. Yeah. One
that I think I mentioned in another episode, but one that people might be surprised I do really like is Hannah Gadsby. And like a lot of people didn't like her, and she just dropped a new special too. I'll admit it's not as good as the first two, but a lot of people didn't like her first big special. I thought it was perfectly fine. The second one was a lot better, but like no, she had a great joke about like there's that growing up in very closeted homophobic New Zealand, she knew more facts about unicorns growing up than she knew about lesbians.
That's
nice little pause, and then she's like, there are no facts about unicorns. Like,
that's a great one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out. I tell you, I literally just go on Netflix and I'm just looking at stand-up, like I'm just watching it.
Do you have what you would consider is your favorite bit? You're like your favorite joke
from another comic?
Yeah, from another comic.
So many.
While you think, I will tell you mine now.
Okay, what you got?
So mine actually would be John Mulaney on his, I think it was the Comeback Kid special, where the why buy the cow bit, when like he just got married and he had all of his friends say like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Right.
And he's like, that's a very insulting comparison to women. And then just as he's explaining it, it is the thinnest line of like that he draws between the two, to the point where you lose track of if he's actually talking about cows or women.
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah, he does it so masterfully, and the entire time you're like, when's he going to really say something that's truly offensive?
Right. Like
that does cross that line, and he never does with that comparison. It's not until after he's, no pun intended, ridden that bull all the way through the radio. When he's like, and yeah, sure, she's a bossy little Jew. Like, so that's where the offense came, was the fact that his now ex-wife was Jewish. But the entire time you had 4 minutes of just being on the edge of your seat, like, he's going to slip. He's going to,
yes. Genius.
And then, that's that he pulls the rug out. Like, he gives you what you want, but not in the way that you thought. So again, just from beginning to end, probably one of the best written bits I've ever heard.
For me, is Dave Chappelle's For What It's Worth special. Okay. The bit about him being on the bus, the public transportation, and the guy holding him hostage.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Excellent choice.
I was like, because literally what I love about storytellers is they take you on a journey. A great storyteller, you get a visual of it. Like that's how I know a good story is if you're telling me the story and I'm visualizing what you're saying as if it's a movie. Like it's playing out like that. So he told that story masterfully. And like he had Mr. Rex. He took you all the way over here. Yeah. And then brought it right back to where he needed to bring it back. I was like, that's genius.
Oh yeah. Speaking of stand-up movies, I think next weekend is when Burt Kreischer's The Machine movie comes out. It's like in every theater. I thought it was going to be like a more of like a private theater thing. No, it's like all AMC's, all Cinemax, all those. So like I feel obligated to go not only just as a stand-up comic, but as a stand-up comic that people compare me to all the time.
Right.
And I wouldn't even say it's like I have Burt Kreischer's style. I'm pretty sure they just compare me because I'm a bearded white guy with a gut. That's and admittedly, I have taken my shirt off 4 times doing stand-up, but
who hasn't?
Yeah. Well, it was when the crowd was extra rowdy. I'm like, I need to get them like all eyes on me for a little bit. So I went up there, did it, and it worked.
So that's like I said. So
except the one time that a woman flashed me back, and then the crowd was too busy looking at her. Because I was way too busy looking at her.
Oh yeah, I'm literally like, oh okay, let me put the mic down.
Yeah.
Get my focus on. That's
like pull my phone up.
Yeah, you're living the dream.
Right.
Do you have a go-to like when the crowd is rowdy, they're not engaged? Do you have something you go to?
Yeah, I'll typically say something that once again, if I like just look around, I see like, all right, what's something that would be controversial to this crowd? I'll just immediately go up there, grab the mic, and just shout it like as loud as I can, like it's like a hate rally or something like that. And it's usually something effective like weed should be illegal, or if it's like if it's a Columbus crowd and they're being rowdy, then I'll shout like "Make America Great Again" or something like that. Something that's just very shocking, and controversial, and then once the whole room does go silent, I'm like, good, now I got your attention.
I had a show where it was like maybe the 5th comic, and every comic that went before me had just like it was like a lot going on. It was like an expo, and people were buying stuff, and nobody was paying attention.
Right.
And my son happened to be there. I was like, hey son, I said, do me a favor. I said, take this piece of paper, fold it up. I said, about maybe 3 minutes into like 30 seconds into my set, I need you to bring this paper up to me, whisper something in my ear, and then walk away. He's like, all right. So he does it. I said, oh, can I get everybody's attention? I said, they're towing cars outside. The license plate number is, and everybody starts talking. Like the entire room starts talking. I said, I'm just playing. I just want to get y'all attention. And they lost it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that is good. That's good. I love that your solution is child labor.
Yeah. Oh, got child labor on my leg.
Oh, okay.
Like live in person.
Oh, okay. Here
you go.
Yeah. So honestly, I think we're gonna have to start wrapping it up anyway. So as I've mentioned before, people of Newark, you can catch Marc here in town, June 23rd. He is going to be in the final showcase of my very first ever festival, called Destin Fest, because I'm so humble. It's for my 30th birthday, so I'm like, we're doing it big. I was like, I know I can get comics to come hang out, do their thing. And yeah, so it's 2-day festival. Marc is going to be on the final showcase of the first day, June 23rd. Amazing comics as well on that same showcase. You have Ro the Realist, JR Jr., Silas, Neff Johnson, Jay Brock, and Fazon. There's also a pun competition right before that, like for a title belt and everything. We got some of my favorite newcomers that day. Next day we have an all-female showcase. We have my favorite dark and offensive comics, and then we're ending with the roast of me. And then we have some music as well to break it up. So that's Destin Fest. Follow me on social media for that link. So Marc, you can also catch him if you're in the Columbus area, Cafe Kerouac, the 26th of May. Hilarious show, great lineup of comics as well.
For sure.
Anywhere else they can follow you? Anywhere they can support?
They can follow me on all social media. That's MARC_FAZON. I love that, most people mispronounce my name, but you got it right on the first try. I really appreciate that.
Well, you gave the host of the Funny Bone hell for that one.
I'm so mad I did not call him Paul Revere. I thought about that the second I got off stage. I said, I should have said, hey, thanks a lot, Paul Revere. Like,
back to the discussion about the word thing, like I addressed it by like saying like thank you, Ghost of Christmas My Future.
Hilarious.
But the thing is, I accidentally said Me Future. When I played back the video, I said Me Future. I'm like, oh, now I'm a pirate.
Oh, darn it.
Like, thank you, Ghost of Christmas Me Future. Like,
that listen, great comic. Wasn't the best host.
No. as the host, like you do your bit up front, and then you only do bits in between comics if the one didn't do well.
Everybody was funny on that.
Everyone was on fire. Yeah.
Tough show though. Tough show.
It was, especially for us black comics.
Oh god, inside jokes.
Yes. So anyway, not March. Bleh. I'll edit that out maybe.
Yeah.
May 26th, Cafe Kerouac.
Yeah.
Catch Marc, and then again come out to Death Fest.
June 23rd.
June 23rd, 24th.
Come out to all Death Fest. Don't just come to the 23rd. Come out.
Right.
Support the whole thing.
I'll say it's $20 a day or $35 for a 2-day pass. Get the 2-day pass.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, I'll say it's best bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for coming out again.
Appreciate you.
And again, make sure you follow him, check him out, and don't do drugs.
Do things if you choose.